Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the movie review. And since we're now entered October, start review. Time to review is like a few horror films because we're in it's Halloween month, so to kick off our Halloween season supposedly with another creature feature film. Oh yeah, and by the way, Runner, I did another poster switch. So I got Captain America: Civil War, the Winter Soldier to be exact, right there, and I got the Purge election year poster right there. So, and Deep Blue Sea right there. So, and also did you see? Notice also the shelf. Then another shelf right there. That was originally right there. Doing a little more rearranging. So, anyway, get back to the movie review now. To review another creature feature film, and it's a killer snake film that was released in 1999, and that is King Cobra. Now, what do I have to say about it? The film is not that great, but one thing I would do, if I would give anything of say, the film is the film is not that great, but there's the story in this character, the characters are not all that great either. But I would say the one thing I would have to give praise to is that is the creature itself, the King Cobra. The effects I thought I really enjoyed. Basically, I like the effects on the King Cobra. I thought, and I'll get into that though. But the film the film was not that great. That's why I will probably put this like it's it's more of a rant, I would say, because there's characters I really don't care about, and the plot is nothing to run home about. Basically, it's like a typical thing though for you see in low budget creature feature films. But the biggest thing I would say is how the King Cobra looks. I'd say the effects of the King Cobra is really well done, and because throughout the entire film, the King Cobra isn't CG. It was all done with real well done practical effects. Because really enough, this for this film is even has for a film that's not really that great though, but it does have a commentary, and really enough it has a commentary and a making of the movie. And I thought that, and I like the behind the scenes footage because it shows how much work they put into creating this King Cobra, explaining how they want to make it believable and real. And I thought the makers did an awesome job making this King Cobra, because it shows them making the whole entire thing, how with the animatronics, how the way the snake functions and everything. I would say this one biggest thing. And it was surprising enough for this film that it's not that really is not great, but I would say the King Cobra, really well done. This practical effect, I'd really give that. And yeah, the whole entire King Cobra. And even so, they did shots like for sections of the King Cobra for how the way it moves, because it's like pretty big. So they shot in sections and built sections for the shots. But still, and there's the shots where they saw the whole King Cobra on the screen. So I thought it was really well done. The King Cobra looks pretty top notch in my opinion. But I wish this would those really well done special effects of a King Cobra would be put into a better movie though. Sadly, but the story is because it opens up with a group of typical thing how the stuff is screen made is with the scientists, and one guy who is like named Dr. Burns, and he has a daughter that's working with him, and two other people in the lab, and when they're doing, I think they were doing it was some kind of a drug they were doing. I forget what it was for, but he leaves out. But there's a young guy and a lady. They do that, send him out, and they lock him out of the lab, and the daughter doesn't know what they're doing, and she wants to get out, and of course the two people being idiots, dumbasses, they screw up the whole project. The whole lab caused to explode. The daughter's still alive, but their project, which they did was a king cobra mixed with a diamondback rattlesnake, which is why you see the king cobra has a rattle at the end for its tail. This is mixed gene splicing what they did. So, and they named the project Seth. That's what the king cobra's name is, Seth. And you see the snake attacks and kills the daughter and the guy, which he goes flying back from the explosion, from a CG fire explosion, and he gets his dead daughter out, and then it's 2 years later. So 2 years later, and this giant snake has been on the loose for 2 years, and not caused that big of a ruckus throughout those between those years until now. So, and it opens up into this town, which it's like famous for its homemade beer, I would say, and you get this young guy, this doctor who's gonna leave to another town. He has this girlfriend who's a cop, and then it cuts to an old guy in the middle of nowhere in the woods, chopping wood. Calls for his dog, but I guess you assume that you see from the snake's point of view, you see a collar on the ground, but I guess indicating that the snake ate the dog, and then goes and attacks and kills the guy off screen. Because he later finds his body in the house. They call the doctor to examine it. They find a tooth in the guy's leg or fang, and one of the deputies bring in this long snake skin. But it's pretty much like the same snake skin that's pretty much like as long as the anaconda from the movie Anaconda. That long of a snake. And you have the typical thing, because you have this festival, this beer festival. You have the typical cliche. The mayor doesn't want to shut down the festival because of one snake. And I'm saying it's one snake. How hard could it be? Although one thing I have to point out, they found this giant snakeskin, right? And the mayor just like just don't believe that this one snake can cause a bigger thing. They just found that it's a giant snake because they found this huge long snakeskin, but guess they don't show it to the mayor as proof that it is a big of a deal. But I guess not. So then they call in the doctor from the beginning, and also they had to call in also a snake expert as well, which really now sadly is played by the late Pat Morita. Pat Morita, who played Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid. Yeah, it's sad for not that great for pretty much a bad movie. It's sad to see him in this, and may he rest in peace though. But it's sad why he needs to be in this movie. I felt like he didn't need to be in this movie, but so they call him in as well. And while it's going, you have these two random teenagers in the woods, and the snake gets the snake gets them. It's up in the tree and attacks both of them. And then you get to another scene where it cuts to our main character's dad, who's in the because the snake snuck into his house, and as the father is sitting, he sees the snake through the reflection of the TV and attacks him. And then later, when the son tries to call him, finally you see it cuts to the King Cobra again. And it shows that he swallowed the guy. You see it's moving in his stomach. And with the shots of the King Cobra, even though this it's a bad movie though, but the shots of the King Cobra, it's really well done, practical special effects. I really the best. This is the King Cobra itself is the best thing in this movie. Because and I really do appreciate it was really done with practical effects. If you watch the behind the scenes, making how they create this whole thing, I would say it's really well done practical effects. But sadly, it doesn't save this movie because it's not a good movie. I just wish I could see that in a much better creature feature film. Because the King Cobra effects are really well done. I would say even close to saying top notch for exact, because show them making this and how the King Cobra looks. It looks like an actual King Cobra with all, with I forget what the thing it's called with the King Cobras when they expand their parts of their body, when they're ready to attack, and the rattle and everything, because it's a mix between a cobra and a rattlesnake. So yeah, the best part of this film is the King Cobra by itself. Just really well done effects. That's why I praise it so much. I just wish we could see that in a better movie. And also another thing, I also like in the trailer that was playing at the end of this trailer, I forgot to say that there was a little boy, it shows a girl rocking in the middle of the woods, and you think the Cobra's gonna attack the girl, but actually it was the boy for a cheap boost scare, just sneak in and scare the girl with his little rubber toy snake, and she runs off saying, "Oh, I'm telling." And then the Cobra sees the kid, but doesn't attack him, doesn't kill the kid, doesn't attack the kid, whatever reason, and it shows the kid being brought to the main character's office because he's in shock, and that's it. So, and then it gets to another point after that. Oh, because I guess the mayor knew the guy's father for quite a bit, for a long time, and is I'm so sorry about your dad, and now I'll just let it shut down the festival. And also you get these four guys who are hunters. These four hunters, and you think, we're gonna kill the snake, and how they're acting all macho, trying to kill. We're gonna get this snake. And they're going to woods trying to kill. They find once again more of a snake skin, and you also get Pat Morita comes in trying to explain, what kind of a snake we're dealing with, and talking with them. And then it shows cuts to them. It was Pat Morita, the doctor, and the female cop, and the other scientist guy, Burns, I would say, because also for some reason he's wearing an eye patch, because I think during the explosion, I think there was nothing damageable on his face to make him, especially around here, to make him wear an eye patch, but he does. So they're gonna plan a trap for the Cobra, and they cuts to the four hunters. They split up, and one guy, I guess the King Cobra is so smart, decides to play dead. So the guy finds it, thinking it's dead, and when he hears its rattle, it sings rises up and just goes and attacks the guy. And mostly the attacks is off screen most of the time, or it just shows the Cobra about to attack the guy, but it cuts away because you don't see actually the Cobra dig its fangs into the victim though, but it just cuts away after as soon as you see the Cobra do. Then the guy dies because of the venom, and then And after this one death, one of the guys, I guess the guy is named Buck. Now he gets all scared and starts acting like a chicken shit basically. He's like, oh my god, oh we're screwed, because after they try to act like, oh we're tough, we're trying to get the snake though, and then after one death, that one guy's like, oh I'm so scared, this and that, we're screwed, and this and that. And then one of the guys, I guess is not watching where he's going. He goes and trips and falls over a branch, and for some reason, as he trips, I guess he trips so much that he launches his gun that far off, and he just tell how these characters. I don't care about any of these characters, and the acting is not that great, especially how some of these people are acting. Yeah, I guess this one there's another guy named he just trips so much, it trips so bad he launches his gun like 20 feet ahead of him. But so he's crawling to his gun. Instead of getting up and run towards it, he's about to shoot it. The King Cobra shoots venom in the guy's eyes, blind the guy, and then does like a surprise attack from this side over here, kills that guy. And then the other hunter goes sees him ahead of him, and then also in the trailer, the King Cobra does a surprise attack upside down, and you see the guy. Okay, you actually see the guy's head in the King Cobra's mouth as it comes down upside down. It's like oh. And then it starts attacking the guy, hitting him, striking, and then the other guy who's acting like a chicken shit, just. And he has many opportunities to shoot the King Cobra. And he's getting all hesitant with it, and then he sees it, and then he goes and drops the gun and just runs away like a bitch basically. But yeah, the scene of the King Cobra, like I said, it's just really well done practical effects. It's just a shame that a really well done King Cobra has to be in this terrible movie. And then also the main character, who was the guy? The doctor's name, Brad, I would say. I think really enough, he's actually played by one of the directors of this film, because there's two directors of this film with the same last name, David and Scott Hillenbrand. I think the guy, the lead doctor, is played by the guy Scott. Although in the credits he's called Scott Brandon, but I think it's the same. The one that has the same last name as one of the directors. So him and Pat Morita are riding along the bicycles because it tracks vibrations. So riding on bikes causes less vibrations for the snake to hear. And then the guy sees the guy Buck running. And he catches up to him, and then that's the last time we see that guy. I mean, he doesn't take him back along with the group, or it's like, oh, since he's so scared, let him stay in the RV because they came in an RV. But no, after he catches that guy, you never see that guy again. So he just let him run off in town all by himself. Doesn't bother him taking him to be part of the group or whatever. No, after that, you just don't see that guy again. So, after that, they plan this trap, like, Pat Morita puts this box, and they'll make a vibration in the ground so that King Cobra can come. And they have this ghost set for a bait, and then after they, I guess, a better way to start it, the guy with the Dr. Burns, he wants to shoot it, and Pat Morita says no. Because he has these long poles with these grappling hooks at the end. Because they plan on using the goat, so when it digests the goat, it's going to act a little bit slow, so they can get into this long tube. And then gas it. And then, as the King Cobra slowly comes, and it doesn't take the goat, and then it looks at them. But then it's going to attack the goat, but then the stupid doctor messes up the plane. We're supposed to shoot it, even though he has a clean shot, though. But Pat Morita says, no, he messed up the plan. So now, after that, then the doctor, the Burns guy, he gets bit on the leg, and then the doctor and the cop try to help him with the antivenom. And while Pat Morita, he goes in, faces the King Cobra. So, and then Pat Morita, he's just like, using this, and then we'll try to distract with his coat, or then he gets his since he's wearing goggles, so in the King Cobra sprays his venom, but doesn't get his eyes. He's wearing the goggles though, and he uses its its grappling hooks to wrangle it, but that doesn't work, and then he gets bitten like a few times, and then you get this weird like transition of like him. It shows like it's a transition of the combination of the scene where it shows Pat Morita, and then it shows like a transition between him and the King Cobra, and you see Pat Morita acting all weird and this and that, and I don't know if he's alive or dead, because he said earlier he was injecting himself with both venom and antivenom, because for over the years he's been so many times, as he said, and even the doctor says he's a walking supply of antivenom. So I guess the venom shouldn't have no effect on him, since he is like loaded with antivenom in his system though. But apparently, I guess the King Cobra has much more stronger venom than that, and I guess that kills him. But you don't see like him actually die. You see him like do this, and that's it. You don't see him again. So that was kind of a weird and pointless thing, especially with Pat Morita. May he rest in peace though. But it's just it was a waste of Pat. It was a waste of Pat Morita. Because I'm not sure if he's alive or dead, because how the way his ending scene was. Maybe he's dead, because you don't see him after that. And then it's about to attack the cop. You get this wide shot of, as the guy is running towards the cop with the King Cobra is about to attack her. You see this wide shot of the Cobra, a full length of it. And it was like really good looking. Yeah, the King Cobra special are really well done practical effects. It does not save this movie, sadly, and it's a shame. And then the guy goes and does a flying kick against to the Cobra's head. Well, he thinks he was gonna be a badass by doing a woof, gonna kick it. And then he goes and crawls in the tube to make the Cobra chase after him in the tube. Although I have to wonder, if they say it's like 30 feet long, it's a long Cobra. The look of this pipe we're supposed to contain itself, it looks pretty small to me. And even though they make it seem like it's pretty long as he's crawling through the tube, but on the outside it looks pretty small, but on the inside it makes it seem like it's pretty long enough for him and the King Cobra to be in. So he gets out of it, they lock it up, but the other side is jammed, so they run up against a tree, and then they gas it. And then you see like its fangs pop up from on top, but then they think it's dead because they gassed it. And then you get like a pointless dream sequence, even though it shows the doctor, he's still alive even though it came, because I guess but they helped him in time though. But I guess it was a pointless dream sequence. And then it cuts back to it ends by going back to the tube, but I guess because this whole thing was Pat Morita's plan, right, to capture the thing and gas it. But apparently, the gas was not the gas to kill it, though. It was sleeping gas. It shows the label on the gas tanks. It was sleeping gas. So apparently the King Cobra is still alive, and I guess it will eventually break out, though. But it's still alive because it was sleeping gas. So you still hear it inside the tube. And that's it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, there's something, because these characters are so forgetful, I forgot to mention the sheriff and the deputy. Yeah, I forgot about those, because the sheriff has this habit of trying to figure that out, and the deputy, they both get it shows the King Cobra punctures the tires on one side where the deputy is, and gets to low enough for him to get the window, even though he's like, the King Cobra is high enough to get through the window anyway, but I guess has a puncture the tires to make it slightly go this way for enough the Cobra to go in. So it crashes through the window and it kills the deputy, basically off screen because it just shows the sheriff on him when he drops his gun. And then the sheriff, he goes and pokes his head over for that deputy's window side, and he gets killed off screen. Most of these deaths are like off screen though, but even I guess the best. I would say the best kill in the movie is when that third hunter gets killed because he's running towards the guy who was dead, and then the King Cobra does an upside down surprise attack, and you see the guy's head inside the King Cobra's mouth and is attacking him. You see some blood on the guy and on the Cobra's fangs. So I guess I would say that's the best kill of the movie because I actually like that part. I actually did like that shot where it appears upside down to attack the guy. So I will say that's the best kill of the movie, but the other deaths were lame, and the characters I didn't care about the characters and the plot because it's a typical way of creating, because the scientists create a thing, whatever. It's a typical thing you see in like 50 sci-fi movies or horror movies. Dealing with animal experimenting, creating like mutant animals and stuff like that. Yeah, I haven't noticed I did a little spill myself, but still, not much. But yeah. Anyway, it was a waste of Pat Morita. I would say he was pretty much useless in this movie, and the way his supposed death was, it was weird, and I don't know how the way the shot is made, how it was like showing his like doing like a seizure thing, and then it shows like a transitioning between him and the King Cobra, and then it shows him like doing this, ducking down, and I don't know if he's alive or dead. It doesn't show him anywhere after the King Cobra's been caught, so I assume he's dead. So it was just a waste of Pat Morita. I loved Pat Morita. It was a waste. He was wasted in this movie. The other characters I didn't care about. The lead, the female cop, and the doctor. I think it was played by one of the directors. I didn't care about this character. None of the other characters I care about in this movie. Probably the only character that I liked was the King Cobra itself, and that's the villain of the movie. But it's the film sucks basically, and it's a shame because it was a waste of a well done practical effect of a King Cobra. The King Cobra looks really well done. Because I liked watching the behind the scenes, how them making this King Cobra. Show them how they constructed it, and I like that. Although the commentary wasn't much though, but I did like the behind the scenes. I did like the making of the movie though. Just show them how much they put the time and effort they put into making the King Cobra. So I did like the making of, and I didn't the King Cobra itself is really well done practical effects, and no CGI, just all well done practical effect. And of course, if it was done today, that would be it would be complete CGI without a doubt. Although I would say it's this better than some other snake movies, some CG snakes like Python. I think it was 2000, the one that starred Casper Van Dien and Robert Englund. This King Cobra was much better effects than the Python of that movie, where it was totally CG. Or some other badly made, terrible CGI snakes in films of today. Yeah, so I did like the King Cobra. The effects of the King Cobra was the best part of this movie, and the King Cobra itself I actually cared about. And it was not a waste of Pat Morita. It was a waste of a well-made King Cobra. And I just wish I could see that in a much better movie. But although I do like the fact that it was just a King Cobra, because usually for giant snakes like Anaconda I would definitely say Anaconda is much better than King Cobra. Definitely. Anaconda, for me, is like one of the best snake movies. / creature feature films, by the way. But snake movies, as snake movies go, Anaconda is definitely one of the best. But, and especially Anaconda has much well done practical effects, as well as there was CG in Anaconda though, but I thought though the CG effects on the King Cobra were pretty decent. But and I do appreciate. Sorry, my words again. I did appreciate that there was no CG in this, and they said they wanted to put all the time and effort to making a King Cobra believable and real, as they said in the making of, and I appreciate that. It's just that it was a waste of a well made King Cobra in a badly made movie. You know, everything was poor. Besides besides the King Cobra itself, the rest of the movie was pretty poor. 30 Feet of Pure Terror. It was boring basically, and plus there's not there were as I was saying, there were so many snake movies that's about a King Cobra. Usually it's like a python or an anaconda or some other type of snake though, but a King Cobra, I guess they haven't made yet, so. But yeah, I would say it's definitely a Rant though, because yeah, well, good practical effects does not save the movie, or neither does Pat Morita, and he was just wasted in this movie. Sad to say. But other than that, though, yeah, I think the King Cobra does look great in the times where they see the wide shots of it. It looks really well done. That's why I give this film a lot of praise for. That's the only thing in the film I give praise for is the King Cobra looks really well done. I would do this. No CG. I think they did a fantastic job with the King Cobra. Fantastic job. I just wish I could see that and put it in a much better movie. Sadly. But yeah, so that's my yeah. The rest of the movie itself, besides the King Cobra, which I actually do care about, I actually care about more about the villain in the movie than the human characters themselves. Sad to say. But yeah, yeah. This is the first one we're reviewing for Halloween month. Viewing a snake film, which is really well made, but poor movie overall. And if anyone agrees with me that the snake does look pretty good, that's good. That's cool. But I would definitely they would agree that the film itself is not great at all. Poor characters, poor plot. But I will also say, the King Cobra itself, really spot on. Gotta give it that though. Especially for a low budget film, it's definitely better some of the crappy CG creature features of today though. So I really thought they did put a lot of effort into making this King Cobra as real as possible. And I did like then, and I'm glad this film has a making it because I can watch from them just taking the time and effort to making a King Cobra, a giant King Cobra to be exact. So, but yeah, but other than that though, the film sucks overall. So yeah, that's my review for King Cobra. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review. More to it coming for Halloween month. But yeah, that's my review for King Cobra. Later.